Hey everybody, this is your daily Philcast, a daily prayer and affirmation podcast where we kind of delve into the Word together. I do a devotional with you, I'll read some affirmations to you, and I pray you guys out so that you're able to start your day kind of in the right headspace. Guys, we're going to go ahead and get into it here. Some really exciting stuff coming up right here. 1 second, turn to where we need to go. So we just did yesterday, we did the Tower of Babel, which I love that story. I think that story is so cool. Like, it's just so cool. Not just because, like, God was just able to confuse language to the point that, like, people, all the people that were alive just, spoke different languages all of a sudden, and it confused them to the point that they were not able to continue building the tower to heaven, because God didn't want them to be able to get there. So, but my big takeaway from it that we read yesterday was that it is something that is in our ability to do. We don't have We've been corrupted by that fruit of knowledge of good and evil and stuff like that. So I mean that's done. We've got that now. For better or for worse. That's the kind of world we live in. But the thing to me is that guys, in this faith we talk about magic and how we need to stay away from magic and stuff like that, and I do agree with it. My thing is about it that I've heard so many people say throughout my life that magic is not real and stuff like that. Guys, I don't think that's true. Magic is very, very real. It's in the Bible here, and it's within our grasp. Like, we can obtain that stuff. We can't do that and be pure and be sanctified. Like, we do have to do the hard thing, and the hard thing for us to do as Christians is to not live in this world, to not seek the things that this world offers us, because this is not eternity for us. This is not where we're intended to be. This is not our nation. We're flawed people, and that's okay. It's okay because we do have refuge to go for when we feel like we're just totally and completely lost. And praise God, praise God that we have that, because this is a hard world to live in. So science and everything is going to lead us in one direction, but we do have to try to resist it. Not because science is wrong. Science isn't wrong about everything, but because it's real. It's you can look at things that have happened in our world, and you can say that chemistry is responsible and physics are responsible and all of that stuff, and that stuff is real, and it shouldn't be discounted. But that's not the point behind all of this. There is a certain amount of mystery, and we don't have the answer to it, and science doesn't have the answer to it either. But that's where faith comes in. Because, I mean, you can either be very scared of all the things that you don't understand, and the things that do scare you, or you can choose to love that. You can choose to love the mystery. And I fail at it all the time, because I'm a very logical and I'm a very logical person. I look at things in very, very black and white terms. So it's either the switch for me is either on or off. And if somebody tries to talk to me about the gray area, then I automatically go to the next extreme. which is it's something that I need to work on. I'm something that I need to work on every day. So I know I said that we were going to go ahead and get right into it, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm going to get better at this about cutting this time down. I can ramble like this forever. So okay, we're going to go ahead and get into it here, guys. This is Genesis 12, the call of Abram. Now the Lord said to Abram, "Go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you, and I will make of you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." So Abram went as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. And Abram took Sarai and his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their possessions that they had gathered, and the people that they had acquired in Haran. And the people that they had acquired in Haran, and they set out to the land of Canaan. When they came to the land of Canaan, Abram passed through the land to the place of Shechem, to the oak of Moreh. At the time, the Canaanites were in the land. Then the Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your offspring I will give this land." So he built there an altar to the Lord who had appeared to him. From there he moved to the hill country on the east of Bethel and pitched his tent, one Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. And there he built an altar to the Lord and called upon the name of the Lord. And Abram journeyed on, still going toward the Negeb. Now there was a famine in the land, so Abram went down to Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was severe in the land. When he was about to enter Egypt, he said to Sarai his wife, "I know that you are a woman beautiful in appearance, and when the Egyptians see you, they will say, 'This is his wife.' Then they will kill me, and they will let you live. Say you are my sister, so that it may go well with me because of you, and that my life may be spared for your sake." When Abram entered Egypt, the Egyptians saw that the woman was very beautiful. And when the princes of Pharaoh saw her, they praised her to Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And for her sake he dealt with Abram, and he had sheep, oxen, male donkeys, male servants, female donkeys, and camels. But the Lord afflicted Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. So Pharaoh called Abram and said, "What is this you have done to me? Why did you not tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say, 'She is my sister,' so that I took her for my wife? Now then, here is your wife, take her and go." And Pharaoh gave men orders concerning him, and they sent him away with his wife and all that he had. Wow. There's a little snippet here that I want to read that's in here as well. There's who was Abram. Abram, whom God later renamed Abraham, was the father of the family through whom the Savior Jesus Christ was born. He lived around the year 2000 BC. Abraham and his wife Sarai, who was later renamed Sarah, were called out of paganism to trust, love, and serve the one true God. In Abraham and Sarah's old age, God blessed them with a son, Isaac. Isaac fathered Jacob, who fathered the nation of Israel. When Abraham believed God's covenant promises, God declared him righteous. Abraham's story is told in Genesis 12:1 through 25:18. So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of, I guess, the start of Abraham and Sarah's journey. In a lot of ways, I kind of wish I was reading more than one chapter. I know it's only and if it's okay, like with you guys, if we read more, then like I'm totally down to do that. But I want to try to keep this podcast at least like under 20 minutes if I can, which I'm sure that we're already going to be past that today. So, I'm very, very excited to get into like, the story of Lot and stuff like that. So, well, I'm excited. I'm excited to do it. And if you guys do want me to, if you're okay with me reading maybe 2 chapters at each one of these episodes, then we can definitely do that. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into the devotional here. But before we do that, before we get into the devotional together, guys, I don't know if anyone has been listening to the podcast from before. I do have a sponsor for this podcast, and they have given me ad read to read, but they also sent me recordings and stuff of testimonials and stuff from people that have used the service and stuff like that. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the recording, and I'm going to get better at this, guys. I'm going to get better at wording this so it's not like I'm not rambling every single time I have to do one of these ads. I'm very, very grateful for them for sponsoring me, because I want to be able to do this podcast and make it really, really good. And right now I'm doing it, guys. What you're hearing right now is on my iPhone. I'm recording in GarageBand, and this is a $20 lav mic that I got on Amazon. So that's what you're hearing. Hopefully it sounds a little bit better than the earlier episodes where it was just like the iPhone microphone, and you could hear my beard scratching against the mic. So hopefully this is a little bit better than that. At least in terms of it's, you're not hearing I think one of my friends said that it sounded like a candy wrapper that was just going the entire time, like I was crinkling a candy wrapper. That was my beard scratching against the mic. So anyway, so I'm gonna stop the recording here, and I'm gonna put in some ad read for you guys. Okay. Well, hello again. It's me, the old-timey prospector who lives down the road. And now I know that y'all are listening to this podcast, and it's probably just a right fine podcast that you're listening to. But I do need to say that, well, I do like this Philip fella here, and I think he's a right old chap. He's a good old sport, and well, I'd like it if you went down to his Patreon page and all signed up for his Patreon. It's $5 a month, and you get your name read on his YouTube videos, and you'll get the Discord to be able to talk to him, and all. You'll just make him a right happy camper if you did that. So come on down. Come on down to patreon.com/Philly2hats to help him make this podcast just real good. So anyway, bye. Wow, thank you so much. That was just unbelievable, and we are so lucky to have sponsors that are so good looking, so gracious with their time, and again, just so just so pretty to see, pretty to look at. Anyway, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the devotional together here. This one here is called Human Chess, and it's based off of 1 John 4:7. I want you to listen to these words very, very carefully, and try to understand what these words are saying here in 1 John 4:7. Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. I'm going to say it one more time, guys. Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Guys, if you love, that doesn't come from you. That's God. Just think about it for a minute and sit on that, because I think it's incredible, man. That is so, talk about feeling small, feeling like so insignificant sometimes. Like, man, even the fact that we are capable of love is God-given. Like, that's just unbelievable to me. And also, it says a lot about fallen angels as well, like Nephilim, that were here in like, you know, in the earlier stages of Genesis there, that we were reading before. It's they didn't have that. They didn't have that kind of love. They don't even understand it. That's Lucifer. That's Satan. He does not understand the kind of love that we have, that we are able to do. He can mimic it, but it's a mockery. It's a mockery of love. And that's all of the things, guys, that in this world that, you know, that after you do it, you feel a little bit less than. And you know what I'm talking about. I don't need to delve into it. Like, it makes you feel like less than human. But you're not. You are human, and you're being taken advantage of by somebody who is trying to trick you. And he's very, very good at tricking you. So that's where discernment comes in, and that's where reading your Bible, that's how you learn. That's how you learn to not be confused by that voice anymore. So we're going to go ahead and get into it here. Chess is an ancient game of strategy. Each player begins with 16 pieces on the chessboard with the goal of cornering the opponent's king. It has taken different forms over the years. One form is human chess, which was introduced around AD 735 by Charles Martel, Duke of Austria. Martel would play the game on giant boards with real people as the pieces. Could we be playing a game of human chess sometimes? We can easily become so driven by our goals that people become just one more pawn we use to achieve those goals. The scriptures, however, calls us to do something different. It calls us to a different view of others. We are to see people as created in the image of God. They are objects of God's love and deserving of ours as well. The Apostle John wrote, "Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Because God first loved us, we are to respond by loving Him and the people He created in His image." And that was written by somebody named Bill Crowder. Thank you so much, Bill. And if anyone has been listening to this podcast, this devotional right here is going to be very, very important for us going forward. I have been very passionate about some of the things that I've been talking about here. And I think it has come across as me being angry, and I am a little bit angry about it. I won't lie to you about you know, a lot of things that are happening in our Christian church today. But I don't want to dwell on it. And the last thing that I want to do is to let that anger that I have about that fuel other people, and you know, make other people even more angry at the church. Guys, the church needs to change, but we have to change it. We have to be better, and I can't hate Christians that hate other people. That doesn't make any sense, and it makes me, in a lot of ways, it makes me worse than the people that I'm talking about. So I'm telling you guys now that it's something that I'm going to constantly be working on here, trying to control my anger and come at the things that I'm talking about here from a passionate place of love, not so passionate that my love is obscured by anger, because that's not the point. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I feel like the lost need to be led back, and I don't know if I'm going to be the one to do that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but I want to make this podcast for Christians to listen to, but I want people who are unbelievers to listen to it as well, and to hear that, you know, we're not crazy. We're not crazy for following this faith. We're not crazy for following God. He is very, very real, and we've been given maybe a very, very small glimpse into that grace that He offers. and it's overwhelming. It is very, very overwhelming sometimes. But that's the point, I think. It's the point is that it's overwhelming sometimes. But as weird as that sounds, as kind of counterintuitive as that may sound, it's guys, we're creatures built for love, and that love can be taken advantage of just as easily as your vices and the things that you feel like make you weak. Your love, which is one of the most powerful things that you have as a human being, your capacity to love, you that can be taken advantage of too. So it does have to be tempered. It has to be watched. It has to be cared for. And that's one of the reasons that I do think it's important to have a church family, to have a group of people that you're able to go to that do think the way that you do, because you live in a world that is taking advantage of love. And to come to a place where you're not taken advantage of, that's the point of church. Now, having said that, I did say previously on this podcast, and I'm going to stand by it, guys, if you don't feel comfortable going to the church down the road, this can be church for you. Not this podcast, I mean this community that we have here. I have a Discord that I'm more than happy to give you the link to if you ask me for it. I have a Discord that we can kind of all talk to each other in, and you can ask me questions about the faith and our place in it as Christians, and I would be more than happy to talk to you guys about it, because I want to talk about this kind of stuff. A lot of times I'm never going to know the answer that you're going to ask me about. I'm never going to know the answer to it, but I will look it up. I will find out, and we will talk about it. And I'm not a theologian, but I am very interested in this stuff, and I want to talk about it. So, guys, before I let you go here, I'm going to read some affirmations to you, and then I'm going to read them to myself as well. So, just try to hear me when I'm saying this stuff, and know that I do mean these things when I say it. And okay, you are deserving of love. You are saved by grace. You are considerate. You are a blessing to those around you. You are not broken beyond repair. You are a child of God. You are kind. You are generous. You are faithful. You are loving. You are not a failure. You are forgiven. You are not a victim. You are a warrior. You are supported. You are stronger than Satan. He is so weak, and God is more. You can be a vessel for love. And I am deserving of love. I am saved by grace. I am considerate. I am a blessing to those around me. I am not broken beyond repair. I am a child of God. I am kind. I am generous. I am faithful. I am loving. I am not a failure. I am forgiven. I am not a victim. I am a warrior. I am supported. I am stronger than Satan. He is so weak, and God is more. And I can be a vessel for love. Guys, I pray that as you go out into the world today, that you are treated with grace, and that you treat others with grace. I pray that you use your discernment in all the things that you do today. I pray that you remember the love part, because it's going to be very, very hard sometimes to remember that part, but it's the most important thing to remember. So guys, I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. God bless you, and put him before you, because he is always going before you.